Hey YouTube, it's me again, Russ, and the question is Harbor Freight trying to squish me like a bug? They trying to pop me like a zit underneath one of these vehicles? And yes, I know about the recall. I knew about the recall when I bought the jacks. Now here's my thinking around that, all right? I was in the food business for a long time. And one of the things that happens in the food business is, like, for example, Jack in the Box. Early 2000s Jack in the Box breakout. They weren't cooking the burgers all the way through. Breakout of E. coli. It was a horrible thing. I think like a bunch of people got sick. Like 3 people died, mostly kids. So people ask me, like family members and stuff, like, you think I should eat a Jack in the Box? And I'm like, Jack in the Box, after the news broke about that thing, it's probably the safest place to eat because the health department lives there, right? So then when I saw this story, Drive Magazine, Steph Schrader broke talking about this story from the National Highway Safety Administration, National Traffic Highway Safety Administration. This story breaks. I think to myself, these guys are being scrutinized. I know where to get some cheap jack stands, because not all of them were recalled, but some of them were. A few videos ago, on one of the Vicky videos, I was changing the center transmission mount. It's called a transmission mount. Motor mount, it's kind of right in between the motor and the transmission. And I demonstrated in this video how I'm trying to be more safety conscious, right? Some of my professional mechanic friends are like, hey, jack stands. My friend Dave, like, he was always big on jack stand. Make sure you're using jack stands, man. I don't want to see you get smashed, right? So I'd use one in a lot of my videos, but it's a good idea, especially when you're dealing with that much weight. And Vicky, the Grand Caravan, right, is a pretty heavy vehicle. So I put 3 jack stands under there, and 2 of them were Harbor Freight jack stands that I bought at Harbor Freight. Did a little YouTube research and watched a video by Murphy's Law Garage, and they demonstrated how the jack stands fail, and they took theirs back and got these shiny new red ones. And so I thought, hey, why not? 26 bucks, I get jack stands. So in that video, I'm crawling underneath Vicky, the 2000 Dodge Grand Caravan, with 3 jack stands, right? Talking about how safety conscious I am. When my friend and commenter, viewer, Dakota 47 V8 chimed in and said, Russ, those are, no, don't use those jack stands. And I'm like, it's okay, buddy, right? Like, I did some research, I checked it out. These aren't the ones that were recalled. It was these other ones. So there's, numbers, and the numbers are on the side of the jack stand. Like, you can read the numbers off whatever serial numbers on the jack stand, and those are the ones, take those ones back. So I buy these. And I also watched a video by Murphy's Law Garage, which at first I thought was like a legal thing, but then no, it's Murphy's Law, like the Irish, if something can go wrong, it probably will. Right? Murphy's Law Garage. So I'll put a link in the description to that video as well. But they did a video on why those jack stands failed, and they actually demonstrate, on a light kind of trailer, that if you hit that, I'll show you. I have a here. You just barely tap this thing, and the whole thing can come down. Even rocking it back and forth a little bit, this whole mechanism drop, which could crush somebody. So yeah, that was the recall. So I go out and I buy the ones. Here, I'll show you. Up here, this is a screen grab from that video that the Murphy's Garage guys made, and you can see how one of them has really small teeth and the other one has the bigger teeth, so that this mechanism, showing you. Now this one actually has the kind of smaller teeth on it. See that? And somebody went ahead and pushed the tab in here, which you're supposed to do, so I can't pull this all the way out. But this is a heavy jack stand. So this, see that? It's not from Harbor Freight. This is older jack stand. But this mechanism, the teeth are small, but this is a heavy chunk piece of steel. But you can see in the, yeah. So I thought, okay, I'll go get those because they're only 26 bucks for 2 of them. and I'll use those. And then I demonstrated in the video how safety conscious I am. And then I get an email from Harbor Freight. Yes. This email talking about, hey, this is embarrassing or whatever, but you need to take those jack stands back, the one I bought. And the reason is they split at the bottom. Like, they just shoddy engineering. The weld in the middle breaks. So these ones got recalled too, wouldn't you know it? Recalled jack stands. I thought, well, I could buy jack stands. These ones will be fine. They got recalled. The safety people should be watching Harbor Freight, but no. Took back my Harbor Freight jack stands. Not dealing with life-threatening, because, you know, it's one thing to buy cheap tools, right? If I break a wrench that I bought for $5, even if I don't get my money back, I'll still go buy another $5 wrench. I've broke Harbor Freight tools. I've been, you know, using these for a long time. And yeah, I could go buy a, you know, Craftsman or, and I do have a lot of Craftsman tools, or Snap-on, and, you know, spend 50 bucks on a wrench that probably will never break. But I'd rather spend $5 on a wrench that might break and just take it back and get another wrench, right? It's just cheaper. It's easier that way. Maybe not easier, you know, you stop in the middle of a job, you gotta ask a buddy, hey, can I borrow your 1/2-inch wrench because I broke mine. It's happened maybe 4 times in my life where I've actually broke a Harbor Freight tool. So it doesn't happen that often. And most all my tools are from Harbor Freight, man. I'm kind of cheap like that. But when it comes to your safety, thanks Dakota 47 V8 and the boys that are watching over there in the East Coast, the right side of the country over there. Thanks for commenting, and yeah, man, Harbor Freight jacks, I don't know. Right, because these jack stands, once you pick up the vehicle with the hydraulic jack, a lot of times these hydraulic jacks, they leak a little bit and they'll start to drop, you know, slowly. So you always want to have jack stands, but the jack stand is holding your vehicle in place. Like, it's holding all of that weight for an extended period of time, and that is your safety, all right? And thank God that these 11 injuries weren't fatal, all right? Because that could totally have happened to some poor soul. People die underneath vehicles a lot, sadly. Also, even some of these shops where they have a cheapy lift where they pull the car up over their head and they're working on it like this, some of those fail. It's pretty rare, but they do. So I want you guys to be careful if you're out there DIYing on your own vehicles. I actually talked to the manager down there at the Harbor Freight. Here was another weird thing. When I took back the jacks, they give you in-store credit, which I use, you know, I'm there a lot, I buy a lot of stuff, so it wasn't a problem for me. But like, really, you know, if I spent my $26 cash and you're telling me that these are unsafe products, shouldn't I be able to get my $26 cash back? I think I should be able to, but I wasn't gonna make a stink about it. I was really happy that they had gloves too the day I came in there, because COVID-19, this is being recorded during the 2020 pandemic. These are really hard to come by, and they sell out in a few hours. So I'm like, sweet, got some gloves, got a box of 100, which is great, like 12 bucks or something like that. And I did a little research. There was 11 injuries, and that's a big reason they were recalled, all right? No one has been killed, and none of these injuries are life-threatening, thank God. But yeah, the jack stands fail. Anyhow, I digress. Back to what the manager told me down there. And I kind of know this guy, like I see him in and out. I've bought lots of stuff there, and we'll chat every so often. And he said, yeah, man, we're just taking anybody who has jack stands that they bought from Harbor Freight. He goes, it doesn't matter the serial number, model number. He goes, at this point, we're refunding their money, right? Like, we're just taking them back, giving them in-store credit. Like, we're not fooling with any of these serial numbers or any of these jacks from China anymore. When it comes to people's safety, he says we're pretty serious about just, you take back those jacks. So if you have any Harbor Freight jacks, just bring them on back to Harbor Freight, and they'll give you in-store credit, which you can use to buy more cheap tools. which I like and enjoy. So anyway, what good news is about this story is I spent $26 on those jack stands. My wife does a lot of OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, stuff like that. And we've bought some really cool stuff from OfferUp, Let Go, Facebook Marketplace. This is one of them. Check this out. This was from like an estate sale. Sadly, the guy that used to own these is no longer with us. But this is an old 3-ton jack stand, Whitman, right? Made in the good old USA. You know the weld on that sucker right there. It's up there. It is kind of that same design though, right? Like, this is kind of weird that they would put the weld here, but it's a stronger weld than the ones at Harbor Freight. This is why the Harbor Freight ones failed. But this jack stand, this is a 3-ton jack stand. You can tell it's been used, and it's solid. Now this is another one, and I think this one actually may have come from Harbor Freight, back in the day Harbor Freight. There's another one with this design. But again, this one is years old. It does say made in China. Harbor Freight Tools, it's got the sticker right there. But yeah, I don't know, man. This one, it's been around. You can see where it's actually catching on this. See that? Takes a little bit to knock that loose. This piece of steel, got some rust on it, not real soft. You know, they made them, yeah, this one hasn't had the tab pushed in. You're supposed to push this tab in so that these don't come out. I guess they sell them like this so that they can package them better, you know, I guess. I stick them all in the box. But yeah, those are jack stands, 15 bucks. Found those in OfferUp. So, use jack stands. more the merrier. But be careful of the Harbor Freight stuff, all right? Just take them back. You know, if you got a Harbor Freight jack, just take them back. Thanks for looking out for my safety. Appreciate you guys. Give me a thumbs up if this video you found it helpful or entertaining or whatever. I'm not going to say like and subscribe because everyone's doing that. So you do it. You do what you want. You do you. Don't forget to subscribe, and why not watch another video? Stick around.